In this training video, we will be exploring the use of tabs in Word 2013. Tabs are useful whenever you have text that should line up accurately without having to use multiple spaces. Using Word or any other word processor, this is even more vital because in most cases you will be using proportional fonts. Tabs are the only way to accurately line up text in a proportional font because the characters have varying widths. By default, a Word document has built-in tab stops at half-inch intervals. These can be useful, but you can also set specific tabs using the ruler or from the Tabs dialog box. We will explore both methods, but first let's discuss the kinds of tabs that are available. There are 5 kinds of tab stops in Word. The first one is a left tab or left align tab. This is the type of tab you are most familiar with. The tab symbol looks like an L when you see it on the ruler, and it's the one you get by default when you press the tab key. Text is left aligned at the tab stop position, and here's an example. A second type of tab is a center align tab. Center align tab symbol looks like this when it's placed on the ruler. When you tab to a center tab stop, the text you type is centered at the tab stop position, and this is what a column would look like using a center align tab. The third type of tab is a right align tab. This is what a right tab looks like on the ruler, and here text is right aligned at the tab stop position, and again here's an example of what a right align tab would look like. The fourth type of tab is a decimal tab. Using a decimal tab, you can align numeric characters based on the decimal point. The decimal tab symbol looks like this, much like the center tab symbol, except it has the dot here, which could indicate a decimal point. It's most commonly used to align numbers, and you can see that here these numbers are aligned by the decimal place, and a whole number has an implied decimal place to the right of the ones. In addition, you can use a decimal tab to line up times, exact times, like 125 or 1225. The final type of tab is referred to as a bar tab. A bar tab symbol looks like this and really just places a vertical line at that tab position. Here I have a column on this side, and this vertical line here is created by using a bar tab. We will create several documents using tabs. In this first example, we are going to set a tab in a resume to line up the start and stop dates for your work experience. If we scroll down here, I've already have a resume where I have the name of the company and the start and stop date. Ideally, the start and stop dates should line up so they end here at the 6.5 inch mark. First, we'll set a tab using the ruler. To set a tab up here in the ruler, you need to look at this portion right here of your screen and have it display the appropriate tab symbol. Right now it's a left tab. If I click the box, it goes to a center tab, and now I have a right align tab. That's the style tab I'm going to use. I want to make sure my insertion point is on the line that I want to apply the tab to, and I'm going to set the tab here by clicking at the 6.5 inch mark to set the tab. I'm going to move it over slightly so I know it's at exactly the right position. To use the tab, I'm going to set my insertion point in front of the information I want tabbed over. I press my tab key, and you'll notice that it ends here under the right align tab with the data moving backwards. A second way to have set that tab, and I'll do it here with this position, Operations Manager. Again, I want to be in the paragraph that I want to apply the tab to. Tabs are a paragraph feature, and so you can set the tabs using the tab dialog box, which is part of the paragraph dialog box. To launch that, here I am on my home ribbon in my paragraph group. I'm going to use this button here to launch the paragraph dialog box. If you look to the lower left corner, do you notice there is a tabs button? When I click on that, it displays the tab dialog box. The position for the tab is going to be 6.5 inches, so I type that in. Then move down here to the alignment group, and I'm going to choose right. Set the tab. When a tab is set, it displays here in this box. So now I know the tab is set. I'm going to click OK, and there it appears on the ruler. And again, to use that tab, I'm going to press the tab key. Now, no matter where the dates start as I move down the page, they will all end at the 6.5 inch mark. Okay, we're going to move on to our next example, setting up an exercise where we want data to appear in columns. Remember that when you first start, tabs are by default set at every 1/2 inch. So for example, if I press my tab key, notice it moves every 1/2 inch across the screen. I'm going to backspace that out and set the tabs where I want them. I'm going to set up a document where we're going to be looking at Computer Workshop enrollment. So let me put the title in. Press enter there. Let me center align this, and I'm now ready to set up my workshop enrollment schedule. I'm going to have 4 columns, one for the actual workshop, one for the date, one for the time, and one for the cost. I'm going to have the first column start here at the left margin, so it doesn't need a tab set up for it. For the column headings, I'm going to use a left align tab, so I'm going to again click in this box until the left tab symbol appears, and I'm going to place it where I think is the best location. I can always move and adjust those after, so I'm going to take my best guess. I'm going to set one at the 2 inch mark, one at the 3.5 inch mark, and one at the 5 inch mark. So my first column header is workshop. Press my tab key to get to the 2 inch mark and type date, tab time, tab cost. Now, since I'm going to be setting different tabs for the subsequent data, I'm going to end the paragraph with the enter key. Now I could keep the tabs there that I would need or replace them with an appropriate tab symbol. The date does not need a tab set for it, since the left align tab will be fine, but I'm going to change the left tab symbols at the 3.5 inch mark and the 5 inch mark to decimal tabs, since those would be the most appropriate style tab for the data that's being entered. To remove a tab from the ruler, you bring your mouse to the base of the tab symbol until you see the screen prompt. Hold down your mouse button and carefully drag it off. When the tab symbol is dimmed, let go and the tab is gone. So let's see that again. Bring my mouse over the tab symbol until I see the screen prompt. Hold down my mouse button and drag it off. To place a decimal tab symbol there, I'm going to click this box until I see the decimal tab symbol, and I'm going to place that at the 3.5 inch mark and then again at the 5 inch mark. Now let's put data in. Once we see how the data is lining up, we'll adjust the tabs as necessary. My first workshop is Introduction to Word, tab over to the date column, 10/12/2014, tab, it starts at 10:30 a.m., tab, $50. Now, since the next rows are going to be using the same tab symbol, we're going to use the new line command, Shift Enter, instead of the new paragraph command, Enter. So a Shift Enter will bring me to the next line, which is Word 2, 10/17/2014, 1:20 p.m. Notice how it lines up, the colon separator lines up under the tab symbol. I'm going to tab over and put in the cost of this workshop, which is $100, and again the data is lining up under the decimal point. I'm going to press enter to finish the exercise. Now with your show hide button on, sometimes it's hard to see if your data is lining up well. So I'm going to come up to the paragraph group and turn the show hide button off. I think the spacing here is nice, but I might want to adjust the location of the tabs for time and cost to align it better over the data. When you go to move a tab symbol on a ruler, make sure that you are in the paragraph that you wish to adjust. So I've clicked on Workshop. I'm now going to take the tab symbol at the 3.5 inch mark and bring it over slightly, grab the tab symbol at the 5 inch mark, and I'm going to bring that over slightly, and now my data is ready. For our final exercise, we're going to learn how to set what are referred to as tab leaders. Tab leaders are great when you need to have a line show on the screen, or the dots that you have in a table of contents between the chapter heading and the page number. We'll set both of those up. Leaders must be specified at the dialog box. So let's bring up a new document and let's set up 2 exercises here using leaders. What I'd like to set up is the heading maybe for a test that you might give to a class where they put their name and then a line for their name, the date, and a line for the date. To do that, I need to set a start position and a stop position for the line, and it is at the stop position of the line that I'm going to pop in the leader. So watch how I'm going to do this. I'm going to start by typing in name and a colon, and now I want to set a left align tab where I want the line to start. I'm going to place it here, say at the 1 inch mark. Now that's where I want the line to begin. Where I want the line to end might be here at the 3 inch mark. Because the leader needs to be specified from the dialog box, I need to open up the dialog box. Last time we launched the paragraph dialog box, and from there went into tabs. A quick way in is to simply double click an existing tab position in the ruler, and that automatically opens the tabs dialog box. We have this one already set at 1 inch. Now we're going to put a tab at the 3 inch mark. The style of the tab can remain as left, and if you notice down here we have 4 different types of leaders. The default is to have none. I can have dots, I can have dashes, or I can have the underscore. We're going to use an underscore here, and I'm going to set it. I'm going to click OK so you can see me use this. Press the tab key to get to the 1 inch mark, and now when I press tab to get to the next tab position, notice it puts in the line. I'm then going to repeat that for the date. So I want a left tab here at the 4 inch mark. I'm going to put in date. I would like that line to start here at the 4 3/4 inch mark. I'm going to have it end at the 6.5 inch mark, so I'm going to double click here. I'm going to set a tab at 6.5 inches. Again, I'm going to add the line leader and set it. And now when I press my tabs, there are the lines. Now if I'm not happy with the proportions, as long as I'm here within this paragraph, I can adjust them. So I'm going to bring this tab a little closer to the word name and maybe shorten the line just slightly. I'm going to move my date over to the middle of the screen and lengthen the line here. I'm going to press enter to end that, and now we'll try another example as if we were doing a table of contents. Now if you notice, as I press enter, the tabs that I've placed move down the page with me. From this point forward, I want a whole different set of tabs. So I'm going to bring the Tabs dialog box up and clear the existing tabs for this point forward. To do that, I'm just going to go to any one of these positions and double-click to open the Tab dialog box. And notice that I can clear specific tabs or I can clear all of them. We're going to use the Clear All button, and now there are no tabs set. I don't need a tab set for the chapter items at the beginning of the row, but I do need to set a right-align tab for the page numbers at the end. I'm going to place that at the 6-inch mark. I'm going to use a right tab, and I want that dotted leader. I'm going to set that, and now I'm ready to go. So chapter 1, tab, there's the leader, and let me put in the page number. And now I'm going to go down to the next line, chapter 2, page 10, enter, chapter 3, tab, page 25, and finish. So in summary, use tabs when information must line up. By default, tab stops are at every ½ inch and they are left-aligned tabs. There are 5 different types of tabs that you can set in Word: left-aligned, right-aligned, center-aligned, and decimal tabs, which are used for both numbers and times. And if you need that vertical line, then you would use a bar tab. Tabs can be set using the ruler or by launching the Tabs dialog box. To set tab leaders, you must use the Tab dialog box. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video on setting tabs using Word 2013. For more information or to take one of our face-to-face workshops, visit our website at www.getajob.cc or call 413-858-2800 for more information.